Hey there, good peoples. My name is Chris, and you're watching the first episode of a new YouTube series called Krazy Carl's Crazy Philosophy. I decided to make this for several reasons. The first being, I have a lot of shit on my mind, and I don't really have an outlet, to be honest. Also, I tried making videos before, but I never really pursued it, so this is me trying again. And the last reason that I feel like mentioning, at least, I think I actually have some interesting shit to say, and maybe, just maybe, there'll be at least one person on this planet who will benefit from it. Anyway, for the first episode, I'm going to explain what this channel is about, which you can expect in future episodes, which I'll try to make and upload often, if not at least once a week. But, you know, I'll try to keep the videos fairly short, not veer off topic too much, but I am known to ramble. So to start, why am I calling myself Krazy Carl? And why a crazy philosophy? The answer to the first question is easy. It was a nickname I had for a long time that I eventually hated. But like Deku from the anime My Hero Academia, I've chosen to make it the name of a hero. Not to say that I think I'm some kind of hero, even though I probably do have a hero complex. But I'm taking the name back because it just sounds kind of cool for something like this. Or something like a hip-hop moniker, which I would be doing instead of this, but my demo is half-assed, and I'm putting that on the back burner. And as for a crazy philosophy, well, when I was 19, I was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. It's when you have both symptoms of schizophrenia and a mood disorder like bipolar. And all honesty, I believe I'm misdiagnosed. And I have a theory of what I believe schizophrenia is and what causes it to a certain degree. Also, I believe that theory could help a lot of people overcome it. But to really understand what I'm trying to get at, I should explain how my so-called symptoms had first manifested. So, when I was 19, I lived in a small town in Michigan. I worked at a restaurant inside a local casino. There was a night I was working where I felt so fucking depressed and stagnant, and even though I was only 19, I felt I had reached my zenith in life. I was a dishwasher who lived with his mom, had no car or friends around, had nothing worth living for. So on my next smoke break, I sat out back on a picnic table and I cried. Then, for whatever the hell reason, I made up a song and I sang while I cried, and that song somehow turned into a prayer. Essentially, I asked God and Jesus, because at the time I considered myself a Christian, to help me to do something with my pathetic life before I killed myself. Because I really wanted to in that moment. Either way, after that I felt better about myself and my life and went back to work, finishing on my night of washing dishes. The next day, however, was probably the most pivotal and influential day of my entire life. I was sitting alone in my computer room, probably reading digital comic books or something, and I yawned. And when I did, an invisible hand threw a gritty and chemical-tasting powder in my mouth and bitch slapped me upside my head. Now, it very, very well might have been my own mind fucking with me. There was never any invisible but very tangible hand that essentially drugged me. I'm not trying to dispute that at the moment because whatever the fuck actually happened is beside the point. The point is that when it did happen, my mind opened in a way that it never had before. That at the time I would never, ever believed it was possible to. From the moment the drug hit my tongue, every single thing I saw, heard, read, or in general experiences any sort of stimuli seemed to be about me. The television shows I watched, the music I listened to, even shit like conversations strangers had with each other. It was all commenting on things I did, thought, or felt. It lasted for an entire week with an intensity that was so fucking overwhelming. I pretty much would have rather died than for it to continue. And I was very much considering institutionalizing myself. And then, out of nowhere, it just stopped. And I was actually sad as fuck. I didn't understand it at the time, but it all felt so fucking magical and powerful. And when it left, I felt I might never get whatever the hell was back, and I would be turning my back on some grand plan or destiny that was being laid out before me. Then a few days later, it came back, but it was easier to handle. It was only super intense for a few days. After that, the intensity tapered off, and it became almost a normal way of life for me for quite a while, if you could even call that normal, you know. It took me years to figure out what had happened to me. Years of research, experimentation, and contemplation to realize I was never crazy. Not really, anyway. And I also never needed to be at all in the first place if I was aware of one thing, and that thing being the psychological concept of synchronicity. And I'll end it here because this video is a bit longer, and I'll continue on the next one with my thoughts on synchronicity and how it relates to schizophrenia. This whole YouTube series will mostly be what I've learned about life over the years from my experiences with synchronicity, especially in the times it was very intense for me. The times that I was what I would call one with the universe. and I'll be trying to offer advice to people on ways they could possibly apply that knowledge to their own lives, as well as commenting on certain social topics. But anyway, until next time, please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.